Hello and welcome. I am Rhoda and this is the Rhobin podcast. I am coming to you from a small town outside the Greater Toronto area. Actually quite a drive from the Greater Toronto area, and everything over here has motivated me to make more things by myself and enjoy my knits even more. And above all of that, sharing my knits with you has been something I've come to cherish over time. So I am excited to sit down and talk about what I've been up to the last few months. I think the last time I sat down and recorded a podcast, it was more than a month ago. So yes, I have more than a month's worth of knits to share with you today. I have about 3 finished objects and a few whips that I want to record. So grab something warm or cold to drink, whichever part of the world you are at, grab your knitting, and I'm excited to give you company for a bit. With spring coming around the corner, we have been outside quite a lot, and so my knitting time has been quite restricted, which means my recording time has been quite restricted as well. So it has been a little bit of a blur. Life has been a blur the last few months. Work has been busy, and so knitting has been quite slow, as it was supposed, as knitting is intended to be. And so I have been enjoying knitting as a slow hobby, and I want to talk about my finished objects first. The first one is what I'm wearing. This is the Traveler Shell by Andrea Mowry. And this is a pretty famous pattern. I started this when she had the Traveler series knit along. I didn't start it, but I purchased the pattern then. There was a discount running for the pattern. I purchased the pattern, but I cast it on only by January 30th or 31st, end of January this year, and I hope to finish it before March. Of course, I didn't make the deadline for the knit along, but I finished it after, and I love the project. However, one of my friends has already claimed this, and so this is going to be a gift knit. This is going to go to her, and I am going to knit one for myself with the same yarn. I'll talk about the pattern first. This is a bottom-up pattern. You start with the ribbing, and this is the first time I tried the tubular cast on. It was wonderful. I like the squishiness of the beginnings of that rib, and everywhere you see ribbing, that's the button band and then the sleeves as well, it has been cast off with the tubular bind off as well. So that was a new skill I learned with this pattern. Apart from that, you start the pattern bottom up. It has this lovely texture which is very scrunched up until you block it, and then it grows. So swatching is very important for this, and you knit all the way up. And when you are separating for the front and the back panels, you add a few stitches for the sleeve, and then you continue knitting. Once you've finished knitting the front and back panels, there are a lot of short rows that shape the neck, and that makes the garment really well fitting. And then you seam at the shoulders, and that's it with your garment. What you're left with is basically ribbing of the sleeves and the button band. There are no buttons added to this button band because this is a shell. This is more like a throw-on kind of garment, and it's one of the reasons I picked this. I wanted this particularly for summer, to throw on some strappy summer dresses just to be very comfortable, and also summer evenings here are really cold and windy, so I always try and take a jacket with me no matter what dress I'm wearing. I always carry a jacket along because I know it's going to get cold in the night. So this shell is going to come along with me, at least until I give it away, and then I'm going to cast on a new one for myself. The yarn I used for this project is Purl Soho's Linen Quill. When I swatched with that yarn, it gave me a gauge swatch that was at least 1 inch wider and 1 inch longer, and I decided to then go down a needle size and also go down a size of the garment itself. For me, based on the recommended positive ease for this garment, I should have knit a size 4, but I decided to knit a size 3 instead, and it worked out just fine. So when I'm repeating this garment, I am going to make it in size 3 with the exact same needles, and I don't think I want to make any more changes to it. When I knit this, I wanted this to be more of an elegant, more dressier kind of outfit. And so I did not add the pockets, which is another big feature of this design. But now that I'm giving this away, when I make one for myself, I think I would consider the pockets. I'm not too sure though, but it will be fun to add the pockets just to make it more outdoorsy, I guess. Maybe it might not be as elegant, but it'll be more outdoorsy, and I can envision myself walking in the garden with this in the evenings, just throwing it on my shoulders and staying warm. I really enjoyed the finished feel of this garment. I enjoyed the texture, I enjoyed the yarn, and I think I want to use something like this again. However, since I'm not purchasing American yarn for a bit, I will have to look for other options. But I have enough yarn in stash, both linen and cotton yarns, to help with whatever summer knits I want to do for the next few months. So I am not in need of a summer yarn yet, but a good alternative for linen quill would be appreciated. So if you know something that has the same, if you know some yarn that has the same composition as linen quill, please feel free to let me know, and I'd love to check that out. I think that's all I have to say about the garment. I'm sure I would have posted pictures over here as I kept talking about it, so you would know how it looked on me when I was standing up and walking around. The next two objects are not with me because they were gift knits, and both of them are from the same designer. Her name is Ronya Hakaleto. I'm sure I'm saying that wrong. I'm going to put her name down here. And I got her patterns from the book Lakeside Stitches. The first pattern is Soho. I'm sure I'm saying that wrong as well. And this is a beautiful, beautiful pattern. It's a color work. Both of them are color work, but this is a worsted weight pattern. I knit this using Knitpicks Simply Worsted. And Simply Worsted is a series of is a line of yarn that does not have any other color. It's undyed basically. It's just natural colors. And I picked the colors Wordsworth and Wanda, I guess. I'll put the names of the colorways here just in case I'm wrong. I knit using 5mm needles, which was the recommended needle size, and I picked size 4 for this garment. This was a top-down garment, and I picked this in particular because I wanted to get this done really fast. One of the reasons we've been busy the last few weeks is we've had friends visiting us, and since they were visiting us, I wanted to make something for them to take along. Usually I would probably knit and ship it during Christmas, but if they are here, we could save on shipping charges, so I decided to knit this quickly. And so I picked the worsted weight pattern, and it did knit up quickly. The color work is very addictive, and that helped for sure. I had to rip back a part of the color work because I had made a double repeat of one section, so I had to rip that back. Wasn't too much of an effort, and at the end it just turned out just fine. I will put a picture of our friend wearing this. He loved it, and I just feel the pattern is a little more feminine, but I was making this for a guy. He still loved it, but I don't think I will be repeating this pattern for a guy. It just feels very different. It does not say that it's supposed to be feminine, but the design itself feels very feminine when it is finished. You can have a look at it and let me know if it's just me or if that's how you feel as well. One of the new things I did with this pattern and the next is that I worked the short rows after the color work according to the instruction that was given. I have never done short rows after the color work or very close to the sleeves, and it was very interesting how it worked out. The sweaters fit perfectly, so I'm very happy about that, and I think this is something I would consider in the future. If I just want to get into the color work, probably I'll go back and do the collar later and include the short rows in the collar, or I could just include the short rows after the color work, and that way I could go right into the color work, enjoy it, and then take care of the details later. So this was a gift knit. It's gone. I think I'll knit again. This was knit on a time constraint, and I'm hoping I would be able to cherish it a little more the next time I knit it, and probably try different yarns as well. My last finished object is called Lumo. It's again from the same book. It is a colorwork tee, and this tee is a 3-color colorwork tee. I looked at different color combinations to put into this particular project, but I didn't find something that worked really well. So for the main color, I used Knitting for Olive Merino in Dusty Sea Green. It was left over from another pattern, another project that I worked on 2 years ago. And the contrast color again is left over from another whole pattern, and that was Knitpicks Oyster Heather. It was very nice to use my stash yarn. Not just stash yarn, these were leftover yarns, and I had just that much to finish both the main part of the sweater and the color work, so I'm very happy about that. This was knit on very tiny needles, that's 3.5 millimeter needles or US4, and this was a gift knit as well. If you remember, I was trying to knit the No Frills cardigan for a friend who was having a special birthday, and I was talking to her daughter and she mentioned that the mom would prefer the color work over the cardigan, so I just went ahead and did that. I did the color work tee and she was very, very happy. It is gone, it's gifted, but I do have a picture of it hanging. I don't have a picture of her wearing it, but I have a picture of it on a hanger, and I will put that over here for you to see. If you looked at it carefully, I did make a mistake. You would see a straight, right in between the color work, you would see one green line that goes round, and that was not intended. That was supposed to be a zigzag line that was supposed to blend right into the pattern, but that was a mistake. However, the recipient appreciated it, and again, this was knit on a time constraint, so I did not go back to change it, and it didn't look too bad, and she was okay with it. I feel hand knits, if I start stressing on making it really perfect, it's going to be an issue of stress, and I want to avoid that completely. So I just enjoyed making it. She's gonna enjoy wearing it, and nobody loses anything over here. So with that, we will move on to the whips. I will start with the one that's closest to finish and then move on to the next that's closest to finish, and so on. The first one I want to show you is the Eken Sweater. This is a pattern by the Knit Purl girl. This was something that I really wanted to knit this year. When there was a test call for this pattern, I applied for it. I did not get picked, but I really knew I wanted to make this pattern. So as soon as the pattern was released, I went ahead and purchased the pattern, and I am very happy to have cast it on, and I'm almost finishing it. The sweater is still connected to the yarn, so this is the second sleeve that I'm working on. I'm hoping to finish it between today and tomorrow and then block it, and I want to wear it on Sunday to make the most out of warmer clothes before the weather really becomes warm. Although this year it does not feel like the warmth is coming at all. On a tangent, because spring has been so slow to come and spring has been so cold, I have had no real motivation to think of summer garments yet. And I'm hoping to start thinking about it soon before I regret and the summer is gone or it becomes too cold to wear summer garments again. Now back to this pattern. I enjoyed how this pattern was written. This is the top down pattern again. I love the shoulder. It is a saddle shoulder, I think, but it's also got saddle contiguous. What's the difference between the two? I feel it's contiguous because it had increases simultaneously happening for all sides, and they do share borders. I guess that's what contiguous means. I went back and did the collar before somewhere around when I was halfway down the body. I ran out of yarn, so I went back and did the collar before I continued with the body, and then went ahead and finished it. What I also love about the sweater is the split hem feature of it. The hem, the ribbing is supposed to be a little more longer, but I did not like the feel of it being a little more longer, especially because I intend to wear it on top of skirts and not on top of pants. If I was wearing it on top of pants, I would have preferred a longer split hem, but because it's on skirts and probably dresses, I preferred it to be a little shorter. As it is, it's not cropped, and so I might have to tuck it into skirts, so let's see how that goes. This was a very quick knit, basically because I love the pattern and I really wanted it done. I also have this sense of emergency that the cold weather is going to be finishing soon, and I wanted to make sure I get the most out of my winter warmer garments. So I've been working on this, and like I said, I hope to finish it by Sunday and get to wear it. For reference, today's a Thursday. The yarn I used for this is Brooklyn Tweed, and this is in the colorway Foothills. This is more like a very dull green. This actually more like spring. It's just when the grass is, it's just turning green, but you can see a lot of brown dried grass on the floor still, and there are little flecks of bright green shooting out of the ground. That's exactly what this yarn looks like. I feel it's blowing out a little. Yeah, it's blowing out a little. This is probably the best iteration of what the color looks like. I am happy to be able to use Brooklyn Tweed. I saw a post where they are going to stop production of yarns, so I'm glad I got to use this before they stopped. This is the only Brooklyn Tweed yarn I have ever purchased, and I purchased this because it was on sale. This is expensive yarn for me, so I don't think I would have purchased from them anyways again, but the yarn knits up very, very well, and it has that kind of unspun feel to the yarn. This is woolen spun yarn, and this is worsted weight. Brooklyn Tweed Shelter, yes, it's worsted weight. I used 4.5mm needles to knit it, so it went pretty fast, and the feel of the yarn is very rustic. I have to keep moisturizing my hands because it leaves white marks on my fingers where I'm trying to hold the tension for the yarn, but otherwise it's all right. I'm looking forward to blocking it. I want to see how the yarn transforms. That's one of my favorite things in using non-superwash yarn, just to see how the yarn transforms. With superwash yarn, I don't think it makes so much of a difference. So this is the Eken Sweater. Probably the next time I'm filming, I will be wearing this, and this might be my new favorite finished object. And wish me luck. I want to finish it by Sunday. The next is a long-time resident of this podcast, and this is the No Frills Cardigan. This is how far we've come. I don't know if the last time I recorded I was at this length, but what I'm going to do today is I want to go back and put a marker, a progress marker, so when we talk about it the next time, since it's a very, very long garment, we will know how far we've come. I really like that the button band is knit along with the garment itself, because I'm not sure I would have had the mental energy, the mental capacity to go back and pick up stitches for the entire button band, knowing how long the sweater is going to be, and knit the button band later. So I'm happy the button band is knit along with the sweater. What I also like is because it's knit along with the sweater, you can see that the stitches run vertically. Otherwise the stitches would run horizontally like this. The stitches would run horizontally, but this one the stitches run vertically, and it gives a very nice clean look. I want to see if I can imitate this in my other knits. I really like how the project started, so I think we should be able to do it, but let's see how that goes. So this is where we are at. I started using the second skein of yarn, and I can see some striping. So I'm not going to go back and rip it because the person I was making this for, I gave the Lumo. So this is most probably going to be used by me. And I'm not going to go back, rip it, and then try to alternate yarn after that. I'm just going to try and alternate yarn here after. And the whole striping of yarn might probably be only at this area, and then it could get better after that. I'm not very concerned about it. That's the update about the No Frills Cardigan. I'll just quickly mention the yarn I'm using. Knitpicks Muse in the colorway Endurance Speckle. This is not a DK weight yarn, although this pattern recommends that you use DK weight yarn. I have used fingering weight yarn, and I wanted to use that because I wanted it to be light and a very spring summery kind of project, more like a layering piece, so I'm happy with it. I think I will use it for spring, summer, and fall. I'm excited about finishing it. I just hope I finish it in time to at least use it a couple of times in spring and then take it into summer. My last whip is actually a crochet project. This is the Dina Cardi, and this is by the designer Tony Lipsy. You would have, if you've ever crocheted, you would have for sure heard about her. When I started crocheting, and this was about 4 years ago now, when I started crocheting, I looked at a lot of her tutorials, and I liked her different take on different types of knitting, different crochet stitches. She also has a lot of Tunisian crochet patterns, and back then I really wanted to knit, but I couldn't. I was just afraid to start, although I had all the material with me. So I used to enjoy the Tunisian crochet because it felt like knit, it looked like knits, but it was crochet. And I was also very proud of the fact that machine cannot replicate crochet while it could knitting, and so I was very excited that I knew how to crochet. After I started knitting, knit fabric has a different kind of drape and different quality about it, and I really fell in love with the knit fabric. So I haven't crocheted in a very long time, but I looked at this pattern. This pattern has been in my library for quite a while now, and I really wanted to try it. I also had the right kind of yarn, so I decided the pattern and the yarn were a good match, and I went ahead and cast it on. Now I do have a lot of modifications that I have planned for this project. So let me first start with how this project is created. Usually for knit cardigans, you knit the back panel. Usually for crochet cardigans, you knit the back panel. All of crochet cardigans are usually knit bottom up. So you crochet it bottom up. I'm sorry if I use the word knit, what I mean is crochet. So you crochet bottom up, and then you also crochet 2 different front panels and then seam them together, and then crochet the sleeves and seam them together as well. After knitting so many things, and I have seen how you can knit an entire bottom together and go up and then separate for the front and back, I decided to try that with crochet. And so here is what the project is looking like right now. You would see this is a long band of crocheted. This is a long band of something crocheted. I'll explain a little. I just want to make sure the stitch is intact. The yarn I'm using is Noro Kakigori, and this is a mix of cotton and silk yarn, so I know it's going to be a very nice summer project as well. This garment, the smallest size, it has only 3 sizes, and the smallest size is for a bust size of 55 inches, and that is already about 20 inches of positive ease. So this is what it's looking like right now. I know it looks like a long band. What I have done is I have added the number of stitches that was recommended to cast on for the back panel and the front panels, and cast them all on together. So this is what it's looking like. This is how big it is. So this is, I'm holding the front panels over here. I'm holding the front panels over here like how it would be when it's a cardigan. So this is, I feel it's a pretty wide cardigan. I wanted a pretty wide cardigan, more to be like something I would throw on inside the house, or if we were going on quick walks in the neighborhood itself, just to throw on and go out. Cool summer evenings again. I am very terrified of summers in Canada because it's really warm during the day, and I would be probably wearing shorts and a light t-shirt. But then when you step out of the house in the night, it is really cold, and so I am not sure what kind of jacket to carry, and so I just want to make sure I have a variety of knits that I can take along with me this time. This, although it is a cotton yarn, it feels very lightweight as of now. I like that it's airy, and I know it has a lot of silk content in it. I know the Kakigori yarn is not just cotton, but it has silk and something else, and I'm not sure what else is there. So I will put the contents of the yarn over here so you can have a look at it. So my goal is to knit the whole body. My goal is to crochet the whole body of the cardigan and then separate it for the front and back panels when I reach the sleeves, just like I did for this, and then crochet the front and back panels separately, seam it on the shoulders. That way I'm eliminating 2 seams on the sides, and then worry about the sleeves later. Even the sleeves, I don't want to crochet both of them separately and then sew them on. I would probably prefer picking up stitches or attaching them right from the main part of the cardigan itself, the body of the cardigan itself, and then crochet it down. So let's see how that works. That way I won't have to seam anything on the shoulder. I'll be left with only seaming down the sleeves, and that should be okay as well. I have one last information about the crochet hook. I am using I don't even know what crochet hooks are these, but this is what I learned to crochet with, and I have continued using that. This was something I got off Amazon, a whole set of crochet hooks, and I have been comfortable with it. Even ergonomically, it does not hurt my wrist, so I'm absolutely enjoying using this hook. The suggested hook is 5.5 millimeters, but when I did the gauge swatch, yes, crochet has gauge swatch as well. When I did gauge swatch, I realized the designer is a very, very loose knitter. She has mentioned that a couple of times, and so I went ahead and picked a crochet hook that was one size above the 5.5. So I'm working on 6 millimeter crochet hook. With that, we have finished talking about all the projects. I am not very comfortable with having too many projects on the go, so I'm hoping to slow down soon. I want to finish my Eken sweater and then focus on the crochet cardigan, actually finish the Dina cardigan and then go back to the no frills cardigan. Because I know the no frills I can still wear towards the end of summer and into fall, but I want to make sure the crochet cardigan is something I have hanging around the house for all the walks that we're going to do all of this season. I do have a few yarn acquisitions. I have been trying very hard not to purchase as much yarn as I normally do because most of my plans now include yarns in my stash, and I'm looking forward to stashing down as much as I can. Also, economically, I think this year is not a great year to spend on yarn. But I purchased a big amount of yarn. This is from Rhobin, and this was for the couple sweaters that I want to make for Sam and me towards Christmas. So this is the yarn I got. This is BC Garn's Loch Lomond. I don't know if that's how you say it. This is also, I think, a woolen spun yarn because I feel it is really, really light. This is a 50 gram skein, but I realized after knitting with Brooklyn Tweed Shelter that a 50 gram woolen spun skein can go a very long way. So I got about 15 skeins of this and 3 skeins of this for the contrast color, and I am still thinking about what would be a nice Christmas pattern, and I'll let you know when I pick one. So when I ordered the yarn, I also had some points, and Rhobin has something called a point store. So you could order some things off the point store. You don't have to pay, but you don't have to pay with cash, you pay with your points. So there are 2 things I ordered. The first one is, sorry about the sound, I'll make it quick. The first one is a bunch of these things. It's called the swatch cards. And what you can do is clip one of these to your swatches. I'm sorry, I'm holding it in front of my face because that's where it's focusing. It has the date, it has the brand name, it has the yarn name, the quality. I don't know what that means. Probably what's the fiber distribution in the yarn. It has yarn length or maybe the weight. And then if it is a knit project or a crochet project, what is the size that I'm knitting and what is the gauge, which I think is pretty good. I am going to pencil the details in so I can erase and reuse these cards. I got about 12 of these cards, so I should be good for projects this year at least. The next thing I got is an elastic thread. This, I'm assuming, is something that will go into the collars of knit sweaters, and I do want to go back to some of the knit sweaters I have and repair the collars. I have another thread like this, but it's more like, it's just elastic, it's transparent, and I'm afraid that over time, you know how you leave rubber bands in a box somewhere and you forget them? I don't know if everyone's done this, but I'm assuming you understand what I'm saying. You leave them in a box, you forget them, and then they become really sticky and unusable. I'm afraid that that elastic would become like that. And so this seemed to be a lot better quality, and I picked this up. They had either this or white. I think they did not have a transparent one, so I went ahead and just picked this up. If you have used the transparent one and it has given you no trouble, please let me know about it, because that is something that worries me for sure. I have used it only in, I think I've used it in a beret and maybe one sweater collar. Both of them were unfortunately gift knit, so I hope it does not go bad. Let me know if you have used it and you have experienced something either positive or negative. I'll be very happy to hear about it. So that was it for whatever I wanted to speak today. I do have some knitting plans. We have a friend who just had a baby, and so I do want to make something for the baby and her older sister, but I don't know exactly for sure what I want to make, so I'm still thinking about it. Maybe a simple bonnet would be good, but I'm thinking about it, so you might see that the next time, or might be given, and then I'll have pictures of it the next time we talk. I am also thinking about the next gift knit. This is for somebody who's turning 40 this year, and I want to knit her a vest, and I'm not sure what kind of vest I want to knit this person, so I am looking out for a few vests to knit, and I'll keep you updated about what happens with that as well. I also have one test knit that I have signed up for. This is in the garden. It is the tea test, and this is by Jessica McDonald. I will keep you posted. I'm still looking at my yarns, thinking of what to use, so I'll keep you posted when I figure what I'm going to use. The deadline is June 7th. I think this was unusually long for someone like me. My podcasts are usually short. I don't have much to say. So if you have hung around this long and you stayed to the end of this podcast, thank you for being here, and happy knitting until we meet next.